Okay, thanks very much, and thanks for really good attendance today. That I think shows the interest there is in this issue. I think the important thing is that this isn't a new issue. It's been around for many years, and yet we failed to make progress on it. And we really have to make progress on it now. We can't simply come out with more reports. I mean, if I look at my own personal sort of career, as it were, then when I started working, that was back in the mid-80s on the Ethiopia famine. And at that time, that was during the whole conflict in the north, the cross-border operation from Sudan. And at that time, you know, there was massive relief operations run by local organisations because it was impossible for other actors to get in there. And to me, that was my first lesson. It's like, oh, there was a lot of arguments. You went into the government-held Ethiopia and you saw the whole infrastructure and UN and international NGOs, and then you came in north from Sudan into the rebel-held areas as they then were, and there was a complete alternative operation running very successfully at huge scale, entirely involving local people. And I saw that repeated again during the work I did in Zimbabwe, where again a very contested area, NGOs couldn't come in very easily, governments didn't want to work through the national government, so you know you had a massive expansion of local capacity. It is possible, and in more recent years we've certainly seen that from ActionAid's point of view in Myanmar, where again a politically challenged situation where there's been a lot of adaptive capacity. And work we've done in the Swat Valley in Pakistan and so on. So there's lots of good examples of where it is possible. And I think it's very important to ask the question as this report does, you know, why is it not happening? And partly that is as far as I'm concerned, is about resources and about the sort of current models and ways of working have a certain power in them that people don't want to let go of. You know, that said, I think the question of, you know, what are we willing to lose in order to gain that Paul was saying, you know, is a fair enough question. There will be downsides to it, but the ability, for instance, to challenge local power structures, local powerful institutions that perpetuate poverty or perpetuate injustice is going to be more naturally embedded in a partnership way of working with a greater credibility. So you can actually gain a lot by working in partnership. And I think, secondly, that when we look at that continuum from the resilience to preparedness to response to recovery and into development, you know, it just doesn't make any sense that one bit of the continuum is done through international organisations, and yet in all the other areas we think it can effectively be done very well by working in partnership. And I think you know there is good examples of us taking it forward. And what you get from that is actually, as we know, emergencies are tremendous opportunities. So we're missing out on a huge opportunity to actually build capacity, to involve local people, to have a more effective response. So I think there's a key point of this is therefore the importance of building capacity over time. I think it is expensive partnership over time. You know, a lot has to be invested in it, but that is going to be more cost effective than this sort of on-off button and trying to rapidly build up capacity then lose it, because by working in partnership with local organisations a lot's left behind. I think the issue of beneficiary accountability again that Dylan mentioned, you know, is more naturally inbuilt. There is a tremendous sort of upward accountability sort of urge at the moment for, you know, completely understandable reasons of the need to demonstrate impact, demonstrate change and so on. But without those countervailing voices, it will always the flow will be in one way, and working in partnership is another way. And I think the point Dylan also made about, you know, an organisation like DIFA can't be making hundreds of small grants, can't be engaging in hundreds of partnerships. But that said, organisations like ActionAid, Oxfam, CAFOD, Christian Aid, those in the report, you know, have a lot of experience of that. And I think, to me, it's about political will. It's quite solvable as a problem as long as the political will and the direction is there. So to go back to the question I posed at the beginning, it would be good to hear more from the audience about what are the blockages, what really is getting in the way of what potentially is a much more effective way of responding.